So finally, the Avengers series is ending with releasing its last film, the Avengers Endgame. Okay, but definitely it's not the last of MCU, because MCU is still having many more movies in the oncoming months, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Spider-Man as well. Okay, but before speaking on these topics, guys, if you haven't watched the movie yet, okay, so please stop this video right now and just move out of here, because I'm going to reveal some of the details of that film and there are going to be a lot of spoiler leaks, so please be alert. Okay, there are certain things about the film which I liked a lot. There were a lot of sequences which I liked a lot, and there was something I thought that it was missing in this film. Okay, I will talk covering on all the topics here, so let's talk about it. Now, as I was telling, there were a lot of sequences which I liked a lot, not just because it was some sort of an action sequence that you usually found in any kind of action movie or a Marvel movie, and technically speaking, okay, like what we see the Marvel movies for. We see the Marvel movies for the action sequences, and okay, but this film was a bit different. Okay, it was not that predictable, because you must have seen many YouTube theories coming up, right? Like after watching Infinity War and Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, people were coming up with so many theories. I mean, I'm not talking about the theories were bullshit or that sort of thing, but people were coming up with those theories. It was definitely funny, but the thing was that when we people were watching the film and the theaters, it was definitely very unexpected. We never expected that this thing would turn out to be a time travel. Yeah, to apply the concept of quantum realm, and then the Avengers team will enter into the quantum realm to kind of get into the past and revive back those Infinity Stones, and using the Tesseract. Okay, that concept was very good, because what we see at the beginning, in the first 20 minutes of the film, that Thanos has been killed, and because at first Captain Marvel attacks Thanos in a particular planet where they tracked him off, and then he has been slowly subdued by the rest of the Avengers team, and he is being beheaded by Thor at the last ending, right? Now at that point, Thanos was already destroyed. He was very fragile, because as he was wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and when he snapped his fingers, the radiation kind of reached his almost all his body cells. Okay, you must have seen that part where his half of his face was burned. Okay, so he was very weak at that point. He was just living an isolated life there, and suddenly he was being subdued and he was being killed. But the point was that 50% of the life was still vanished, right? They were already reduced to dust. The objective of the Avengers team was that, you must have seen in the film how dramatic it was and how emotional it was, like the return of when Captain Marvel pushed the ship of Iron Man into Earth, and the Avengers team sort of united. You know, there was a split between them during the Civil War, and then Captain America and Iron Man are meeting again. That was cool as well. And I think the most cool scene was that one. Okay, it was very emotional. And after 5 years later, the thing were sort of bringing up about reviving people back. That topic was cool as well. Now the second is definitely the action sequences in the film. It was definitely cool. Like the concept of the Thanos of the past will come into the future. I mean, predicting from that people are just after him to kind of change the past so that the future will be revived back. That very concept, to bring that kind of concept into the film, it's very good. Okay, and it was being carried out so well. Thanos with his army came back into the future, okay, through the quantum realm tunnel, okay, and then suddenly when Hulk snapped his finger using the Infinity Gauntlet, the 50% was reduced to dust, was revived back again, and they sort of battled against the army of Thanos, and it was so cool. You know, so through the dimension of Doctor Strange, they were coming inside, and many people, I mean, the whole army of Doctor Strange and also the Wakanda army, everyone was coming there. I mean, it was so cool. I mean, that's the, and also the scene where, you know, Thor's hammer and the Stormbreaker was being carried by Thor and both Captain America. That was cool because half of his shield was being damaged by Thanos. As if you have seen that scene where Thanos, Thor, and Iron Man were fighting together against Thanos, right? People were pointing out at the endings because they were not that cool. Many people are saying they didn't like the endings, but basically the endings were one of my favorites. I liked it. The farewell given to the death of, or the sort of a funeral was taking place for the death of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, okay. And also the quantum realm thing, when Captain America was inserted into the quantum realm, where he went into the past, had a relationship with his longtime girlfriend, and then returned back as an old man, and that was so cool. He was retired and gave his shield to Sam, as the character is being called. That was so cool, okay. And I mean, I definitely like the ending as well. Many people were saying because there were a lot of mixed expressions from people who were coming out of theaters. So from the expressions and from the talkings, what I understood that many people didn't like the endings, but I definitely like it. Okay, but according to me, what are the things that kind of missed or which were not up to the mark in the film? What I felt was that the role of Captain Marvel should be much more in this film, because as we expected from the previous film, like the Captain Marvel and Infinity War post-credit scene of Infinity War, that we thought that Captain Marvel should have much higher role or a bigger role in defeating Thanos. Well, she did. Okay, she definitely did. She kind of subdued Thanos twice or thrice, I don't know, because she was definitely also in the time when Thanos was being beheaded at that time, and also she was also there in the scene when that huge war between the armies of Doctor Strange and everything was going on, right? And the second thing which I felt was kind of missing was that this is a 3-hour film, and out of that I think not even 1 hour of fight sequence was there, okay. So many people were kind of not expecting this. They were at least expecting the thing was, it should be like the fight sequences should be going on like at least more than 1 hour, okay, but it never exceeded more than 1 hour. It was almost like half an hour to 45 minutes of fighting, and then the main fight sequence was at the end only, okay. But still, if I give ratings on this, I would say that out of 10 I will give 8 to 9 ratings. I definitely like it. I mean, I should say it's much better than Infinity War, okay. So guys, if you're a new visitor, then please subscribe this channel, also hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my updates. So guys, feel free to share your views on this topic, and thanks for coming.